Now, many seriously ill children this Christmas will be faced with the reality of celebrating the festive season in hospital. Well, charity Spread a Smile are bringing the joy to young patients across 15 NHS hospitals in London with visits from Santa and his helpers. Well, joining me now is Chief Executive of the charity Spread a Smile, Lucy Jackson and Betty the Elf. It's so wonderful to see you both here today on Sky News. Lucy, we'll start with you first. Just give us a sense of what happens when you go on those visits. I believe you're going on one this afternoon too.
Yes, so we will be going on a visit this afternoon with Santa and with Betty the Elf, who's joining us today. And those visits are amazing. So they will be doing singing and magic and art and all kinds of Christmas-related things just to get the kids smiling and laughing. Obviously, as you can imagine, being in hospital at any time is horrible for children, but particularly during Christmas time.
And Betty, of course, we said at the top of our conversation there that you're bringing joy to seriously ill children. How important is it for you to embrace what you do and meet so many children who are stuck in hospital, essentially?
Oh, it's amazing. I mean, it's such a privilege to be invited into the space of families going through, you know, some of the toughest times, and to be able to entertain and to spread some festive cheer to them as well. So, I mean, just to give you an example, last week I was in hospital with the big man himself, with Santa Claus.
Excellent.
And there was a young boy who was having a particularly tough time. He was really, really unwell. And we've been told he might be quite reluctant to see us, quite unresponsive. But, I mean, as soon as he saw us, as soon as he saw Santa and the elves, I mean, you should have seen his face. It just lit up and he was singing along with me and the other elves. He wanted magic and it was magical. I mean, he was a completely different child to the one we walked in to see.
Lucy, Betty the Elf makes such an important point. What you do is so amazing. You bring so much joy, but I can also imagine that actually it's quite challenging because you are dealing with children that are seriously ill.
I mean, obviously it is a challenging environment, but we train our entertainers so that they know exactly what to do. So they enter the hospital as a group and they're there to bring joy and laughter in such difficult situations. I mean, there are so many stories I could tell you of children who, you know, after an operation where their physio is desperate to get them out of bed, moving around, and they just won't do it. And suddenly our therapy dog is there and they're walking up and down the corridor with the dog, or a child who's so scared, so anxious and frightened about having a certain procedure, and suddenly our magician's there and they're completely distracted from what's going on, or a baby who is crying and they're soothed by one of our fairies. You know, it's amazing to see, and that's why we're there. That's what we do.
Betty the Elf, we have an elf at home who's quite cheeky. Oh. When you go to the hospitals, how do the children react? You said, you know, you've had experiences where a child will just light up, but is that across the board? Do you find that you go in and the joy is just spread on that ward to all children?
I think so. You know, what I see is joy. It's the Christmas magic. I mean, a lot of these children aren't able to leave the hospitals and, you know, go and meet Santa or go to some of the other festive events that, you know, children would normally enjoy going to see. So to be able to bring that festive joy to hospitals is amazing. And it's also not just the children, I have to say, that we bring a smile to. I mean, we've met lots of staff as well who are equally as excited to meet Santa and his elves.
It's amazing. Lucy, talk to me a bit about the details. So 15 NHS hospital trusts across London that you go to. When you go there, apart from bringing the joy of Betty the Elf, you also provide hampers as well for children and family.
We do. So over the last 6 weeks, we've been sending out our Smile hampers, which are personalised gift boxes, and we've sent 1,875 of them. And they're for seriously ill children and their siblings, and they're delivered to them either at home or in hospital in time for Christmas. And every single one of those boxes is personalised. So can you imagine for those children receiving that box and just the look on their faces as they open up the box full of things that we know that they will absolutely love. And we've had a team of volunteers coming into our office helping us to pack up those boxes over the last 6 weeks.
Well, both of you spread such Christmas joy. Thank you so much for spreading a bit here on Sky News.
Thank you
so much.
Now, as the